think establishing the Michigan Institute of Education at UHN can simply be called a game changer. It's really tying in with one of Canada's leading teaching hospitals, an educational institution, both of which have an extensive array of other partners, and UHN has been reaching out to and embracing those partners as part of this effort, that will enable this kind of entity to break down the walls that exist between learning, between research, and between the real-world experience, bringing those together in a different way. Our clear first duty is to take care of the students, to produce the best possible students, because it's through them, and only through them as they become employees, that we're going to deliver the best possible care to patients in our province.
When you leave here, you may well take a taxi home. And I want you to think about the competence of the person you've entrusted with that task. If you want to become a taxi driver in the United Kingdom, you have to memorize the entire topography of London, and that takes many, many years. It's called the knowledge. And it's been shown that the hippocampus of taxi drivers in the UK is bigger than the average person. However, if you become a taxi driver in Paris, there's no knowledge to memorize because they teach you how to use a GPS. It's a technical training about skills-based knowledge and navigation. In Toronto, I was curious to look. It's a 2-week course on communication skills, business management, and some of the etiquette and ethics of driving a taxi. And then, of course, along came Uber. I actually now am a qualified Uber training driver. I actually went online. It's a fully e-learning module. I did all the e-modules. I'd be more than happy to drive you home. Is that allowed? That's like a conflict of interest. And it's fascinating from an educational point of view because, in fact, the taxi driver and the client evaluate each other. And that in itself is quite interesting in healthcare if we think of the move to empower patients as our partners and students as our partners in the school. All that to say that paradigms in education are changing rapidly, no more so anywhere than health professions education, and we must not allow them to be passive. We really have to use collective wisdom, intelligence, research, innovation to create the very best possible model. Because whether you're driving a taxi, flying an aircraft, running a nuclear power plant, manufacturing industrial chemicals, or doing all of the things that are equally dangerous, complicated, and important as we do in health, we have to think very carefully about how we prepare people in the best possible way to serve the public. That's what this integration is about. There has never been an institution in Canada that combined in this way a site of clinical practice and a site of excellence in education. This is what we intend to do with innovation.
Personalized medicine promotes the idea that medicine should be proactive rather than reactive. So using the genomic sequencing technologies that I learned here, healthcare professionals like me get a unique patient-specific information that can be used to diagnose, treat, monitor, and even prevent cancer in patients and even their families. At Eastern Health, we had a patient we suspected may have leukemia. We ordered a genetic test to detect a chromosomal rearrangement within the disease cells. If this rearrangement was present, it would create a fusion gene, which it did. And the cancer was so classified as acute promyelocytic leukemia. Armed with this specific information, the patient's medical team created a unique treatment plan and his prognosis was greatly improved. I was very proud to be part of this care team.
I predict that many other organizations will be watching this very closely and that this will precipitate change across the country as people see the wisdom of bringing together learners and practitioners in a different environment with modified, upgraded, state-of-the-art curriculums, and with placement into organizations as they arrive very capable, extremely well-equipped, and really ready to meet the demands of the healthcare system as it changes over time.